So today we're talking about knives in different categories, and I have three different categories: an affordable one, a mid-tier one, and a premium one. And I'm gonna recommend knives in these categories. Now I do have one other little category we'll go into here in a moment. The affordable category is under 65 bucks. The mid-range one is between 65 and 150, and then the premium one is anything above that. So let's get into it. So the affordable knives. One that I can't stop carrying and is my most carried knife, at least right now, not saying of all time, but just right now, is the CIVIVI QUBIT. I just can't get it out of my pocket. It's so lightweight. It's summertime, so what I'm wearing is always, you know, shorts and things like that. I want something nice and lightweight. And the QUBIT is extremely, extremely lightweight. 2.5 ounces, 14C, 28M blade steel. And then another thing is it has an extremely slicey blade. So this knife overall is just extremely useful, extremely slicey, and I can't recommend it enough. Now, the next one is the CMB Predator. The CMB Predator is also in 14C 28N, and it has a crossbar lock. Now, I'm recommending this one because, you know, like say the Drop Bear or the Escort, you know, you're gonna have to pay more money. That would be more towards the mid-range, but you're getting basically the same stuff all in this one. No, the crossbar is not adjustable like on the Drop Bear and the Escort, but it is very strong already. So it's already set to a nice strong detent. So the lock bar is incredibly strong, which is something I do appreciate. I love the blade shape, love the size, materials. It's just a fantastic work knife. This is one of my most recommended work knives. Now the thing is that it's like 70 bucks, so I kind of cheated here. But you know, give or take $5, right? The next one is under $50. I think it's like $47, the SENCUT Serene. I had to throw this one in here because this is probably my most recommended affordable knife right now, under 50 bucks. Now, there's so many great knives under 100 bucks. Like I could literally make a list of 30 knives right now that I absolutely recommend because there's so many great knives under $100 right now. But for under 50 bucks, that's where, you know, it gets a little sticky. You know, not saying there's not a lot of great knives under 50 bucks because there is, but you start getting into the realm of almost too budget, and this feels like a premium knife for an affordable price. And, you know, just everything from the build quality, the materials, the fit, the finish. Granted, it's D2 steel, but, you know, for this price, D2 is a phenomenal steel for this price. Now, if you're wanting an affordable USA-made knife in this price range, I would recommend KERSHAW Leak, KERSHAW Dividend, something like that. The problem I have with that is that I don't really have any manual knives that I can recommend from the USA under $100. Most of them, and even a little bit above, but if you're in the $100 or under price range, I would say go look at Kershaw. You know, you go to their launch series, which is right around $100, give or take, and then you have, like I said, the Leak, the Dividend, things like that. But to jump into the mid-tier is, starting it off, we have the CIVIVI Sentinel Strike. Of course, I had to put this on the list. I think this could possibly be the best budget knife right now. Now, granted, it's like 70, 80 bucks. I think it's like 80 bucks. So, you know, it's in that mid-range tier, you know, over 65, 70 bucks all the way up to 150. And you're getting a lot for your money here. The problem is it is K110, which is basically D2, which I do think is a little bit expensive for this steel. But I don't think CIVIVI does a bad job with it. You know, I haven't had no troubles with it. I've been using their D2 like crazy. And, you know, like I said, I haven't had any problems, but I have had a lot of problems with other D2 steels from other companies. But fantastic action. It's very fidgety. It has a damn good look to it. This is a sexy knife. And because of this modified sheep's foot, modified Wharncliffe blade, it's super slicey, you know, like you can really get a lot out of this cutting edge because it's such a straight edge. So yeah, you get a lot of power all the way out to the tip, which is what I love about Wharncliffes. The ergonomics are great. The handle material is aluminum and FRN, reversible deep carry clip. Fantastic knife. The next one, You guys probably know this is coming. The CIVIVI Vision FG. So this is the budget version of the Vision R. Now, this knife, man, I'm so happy that that CIVIVI is willing to do this, where they're really willing to bring some of their premium knives down to the budget realm, an affordable realm, because a lot of people are never going to be able to experience the premium version. Now, what they were able to do with this was make this knife even better than the premium version, which is crazy. So this for 80 bucks, you can't beat it, man. It's such a good knife. You have Nitro V steel. You have steel liners with G10 scales, but it does come in micarta as well. So there is other, just like all these knives, most of these knives have different handle materials and different color options and stuff. But deep carry reversible clip, and then it has the, what is it called? The super lock. It has the super lock, which is very similar to a shark lock. I know a lot of people like to, you know, basically compare them, and they are very similar. They're not exact. There is a lot of differences, but they are very similar. And it's just a fantastic user. Not only fidgety, not only does it look unique and look good, it has a super strong lock, and it's a very capable and useful tool. So that's what I love about it. It's very useful, and you know, it's set up for performance, but also for fidget factor and looks and strength. Next, so with the mid-grade tier, now we're gonna bump up the price a little bit. My most recommended knife between 100 and 150 bucks is probably gonna be the HOGUE DEKA. So the HOGUE DEKA is just a phenomenal knife. Now here's the deal with it though, is that I do think you should get the aluminum scales or titanium scales from Original Goat. 15% discount code, links down in the description. And I'm not trying to sell you the scales, but it does massively improve the knife if you're gonna get the FRN version, because that's the one I recommend. I recommend it because they have their MagnaCut. Now their MagnaCut is heat treated between 63 and 64 HRC. So they did have trouble with it in the beginning, but now they're doing a phenomenal job with their MagnaCut. So I got to give them credit. They bumped it up really quick, and now it's doing great. But the MagnaCut one comes with FRN, which the FRN sucks. I hate the FRN. FRN, it's super flexible. It pinches you when you're bearing down. I just don't like it. Now, you could go with the 20 CV version with G10. You absolutely could do that. But they're running their 20 CV soft. So since they're running their 20 CV soft, I recommend their MagnaCut. So you kind of got to pick your battle here. Now, if you don't mind the FRN, doesn't matter. But personally, it drives me nuts. So I just recommend getting Original Goat scales. Now, that does bump up the price significantly, but it's still 100% USA made, because these scales, Original Goat, are 100% USA made. But that is what I personally would recommend. And you don't have to get the scales right away. You know, you can just get them later on down the future. Now, let's talk about some premium knives. But before that, this is the fourth category we're talking about. I gotta recommend some more USA made knives. I have to. So I want a category of just USA made knives in themselves, because you can't, like I said, you can't get a manual knife made in the USA under $100 that isn't from the 1970s. So a modern USA made knife. Now in this realm, I'm going to recommend these specifically for heat treatment, kind of like the MagnaCut HOGUE DEKA. You know, I want to recommend something for the people that want the high performance steels. Not everybody, you know, is wanting the best handle materials and all that. A lot of people want to get the most out of their steels. That's the most important part, right? So, and these you can always modify, or, you know, and the handle materials that come with it are pretty good. So it's not like they're bad. But the SPYDERCO MANIX, whether it's the MANIX XL or the small MANIX, I always recommend this. It's it is my most recommended knife. Not only does it have the fidget factor and that spidey flick that everybody loves, it's slicey, it has a great heat treatment, and this is the company that you're gonna get the best heat treatment out of. If you're wanting the best bang for your buck when it comes to steels, check out SPYDERCO. Now, if you like polished edges, and I know a lot of you guys love polished edges, you guys love them Instagram edges, try CREWwear. This steel takes some of the most unbelievably sharp polished edges imaginable. I mean, just insane, and it holds it so well. It's so sticky, it stays so sharp for so long as far as that high performance, sticky, you know, very fine edge goes. Now, once the fine edge is gone, yes, the working edge goes right after it, but man, does it hold that stickiness. Anyways, can't recommend the PM2 in crew wear and micarta enough, but you know, the price range is a little bit over, I think it's like $203 or something. You know, and you can always go with the Spyderco MANIX if you want a hard use knife. If you want a hard use USA made knife, but you're gonna spend some more money because these are not affordable. These are USA made knives with great build quality, great locks, and great heat treatments. Now, as far as premium knives go, right? As far as premium knives. Oh, and by the way, there's a lot of other USA made knives I could have absolutely recommended. I'm trying to keep this short, sweet, and simple. So, the premium line. So, there's a lot of knives I could recommend in the premium line. I want to make that clear right now. There's a ton of knives I can recommend in this price range, but the FERRUM Forge Archbishop 3.0 is one that I personally gravitate towards a lot. I have a lot of knives in my collection and I carry this thing often. Not only does it have very addicting action and really cool sounds, it's, you know, it's just built super tough. I absolutely love it. Now, if you are not big on the reverse flick and you just want flipping action, you can also check out the Allurus. The Allurus is very similar in a lot of ways, at least for the materials and everything, but the clip is a little bit better because they put the cutout for the lock bar on the inside instead of the outside, which on the Archbishop 3.0, that can kind of get caught up a little bit right there. It's not horrible, but it does happen. You know, I've just kind of learned to deal with it. You know, I still love the knife. I just kind of turn it a little bit when I'm pulling it out of the pocket, and it's not a big deal. So they're around 280 bucks, right under 300 bucks, but it's full titanium construction, 20 CV, fantastic action, fantastic build quality. Now the next one I'm gonna recommend is the CHAVES, the one with the KICKSTOP specifically. Now there's a bunch of great CHAVESs out there. I'll link them all down in the description. It really doesn't matter which one you go with. They're all awesome. They're all amazing. Fantastic designs done by Riat. Riat for the most part does a good job with their heat treatment. I know, you know, they have had some tests come back not so sweet, but it seems that they're doing it pretty well compared to a lot of other companies. And as far as when you're getting M390 and 20 CV overseas, they're probably doing the best job with it overseas. So Riat is the premium knife brand on the planet. It just is. You know, it's the best OEM that any companies can use. There's a reason why all the top tier USA knife designers go to Riat. There's a reason. Now, I'm not saying Best Tech and we aren't right there, almost neck to neck, but Riat is still taking it, I think. And, you know, just their fit, finish, tolerances, build quality, it's unmatched. And then when you consider the materials they use, you know, they knock it out of the park. These are things that, you know, if this quality was in the USA with the same materials, it'd be $1,000 knife. So now to give you something around the $200 price range, you can go with the CULEX 20 CV titanium button lock. Very fidgety, very well done, super snappy. Again, We Knife Co is probably doing the best job on their button locks as far as out of every company, you know, especially the overseas ones. Fantastic detent, fantastic lockup. I have many of them and I've used many of them over time. They stay super solid. They've really got their lock face geometry down. Now, I'm not saying you're not going to find lemons here and there, just like with everything, but from my experience, they're doing a great job with their button locks. Now the 20 CV, you know, maybe not as premium as something you're gonna get from Spyderco, but it's still good. And I think, you know, for considering the materials and everything, you know, and the build quality, the fit, the finish, this is a great knife to go with. And, you know, I should talk about this knife more. I used to rave about it, and then, you know, just so many knives have come out. But what's cool is that the price is dropping now, so you can get this for like 203 bucks, at least with certain versions. They kind of, you know, depending on the color. I want to give you guys one more option really quick as far as premium knives go. Now, you're stepping up the price to about $425 right now. You might be able to find them a little bit less, a little bit more, I'm not sure. But the Sharp by Designs Mini Evo. Sharp by Designs Mini Evo is done by Riat, and it is magnificent. I freaking love this knife. I know they have a larger version, DLT exclusive, that I'm sure is sold out by now, but I didn't get it because, granted, I want a larger version, but I don't like the one with the holes. I want one just like this, full size. But this is still a good size knife. You know, for a medium sized knife, I can get a full 4-finger grip, nice and comfortable. So it's a great size EDC, but just a fantastic knife overall. Love the blade shape, love the grind. You know, it's got the Brian and Doe detent nub. Some people don't like the flipper tab. I personally love it, but you know, to each their own. Love the pivot collar. Everything's sexy on this knife. I absolutely love this knife, but I definitely recommend it because right now you can get the fat carbon fiber versions. So, you know, that's, I guess, the one I have to recommend if you're gonna get it, because those are the only ones available right now, but I would definitely recommend it. Another one I would, you know, consider in the premium range, the Quiet Carry 9. I know I've recommended that. The F22 KICKSTOP. You know, there's so many knives I could recommend because, you know, when you get up to the premium, you know, you got a lot. Just like with every category, really. The budget, the affordable, and the premium, that things, they're stacked in those ranges. The mid-range is where it comes a little tricky. Work hard, stay tough. You know society's relying on you. Until next time, peace.